Good evening.
Hello, Chairman Price, Vice Chair Sheffield, committee members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. Appreciate your patience during all of these. My name is Mehta. I'm from Flower Mound, Texas. I'm here today to oppose SB 1414 on behalf of my son, Aiden, who's back there, and the grassroots organization ProtectTXfragilekids, representing families of approximately 1,700 medically fragile children throughout the state of Texas, many of whom are constituents in your districts.
So, Ms. Mehta, you're representing ProtectTXfragilekids and yourself?
That is correct.
Correct, okay.
Yes. SB 1414 would mandate Medicaid managed care recipients be locked into an MCO plan for 12 months. On the surface, this seems benign, but as advocates for our state's most fragile children, we urge you to look beyond the surface into the current chaos and confusion transpiring in the Texas Medicaid managed care program and see that this lock-in requirement would actually be rather harmful at this time. By way of background, on November 1st, 2016, thousands of fragile little Texans who rely on specialized waiver programs to stay out of institutions were mandated from traditional fee-for-service into the highly restrictive new Star Kids managed care mandate, which has caused harmful disruption to fragile children's care. Children are experiencing life-threatening delays, detrimental changes, and access to care issues. It has had an enormous impact on families' ability to access appropriate care for their rare and complex children. Decimated care teams that families have spent years developing. Vital life-sustaining services are currently being denied on a daily basis, and it has become abundantly clear that the managed care delivery model is not appropriate for a medically complex and very fragile population. This disruption to care is associated with many factors, one of which is the highly restrictive nature of the program. It is important to note that of the total population mandated into Star Kids, only 50% actively selected an MCO plan. The remainder were randomly assigned plans by the state broker, and by the 90-day mark, many families still had not received any correspondence from their MCO. Just this week, we've heard from several families who have had to go through the arduous process of changing their child's MCO solely to access basic care. For example, a single mother whose 3-year-old is living with half a heart and has multiple complex health conditions selected a specific MCO because she was told that 3 of her child's 8 doctors would be accepting that plan. The other physicians were not in network with either of the 2 MCO options available to the family in their narrow regional service area. After spending 6 months fighting constant denials for every medically necessary service ordered by the child's doctor, from nursing to medications to therapy to surgical procedures and everything in between, Mom suddenly learned that those 3 physicians were now no longer in network with the selected MCO. And in order to obtain a single case agreement with one of those physicians and consistent nursing care for her child, had to switch MCOs. Under SB 1414, this would not be possible. At a time when this population is already reeling under an inappropriate and poorly implemented managed care mandate, SB 1414 further restricts access to care for Texas medically fragile children. According to the SB 1414 fiscal note, LBB assumes that the number of enrollees changing plans in a 12-month enrollment period is minimal and has determined that possible savings for the state are negligible. Being locked into an MCO for 12 months, however, could make an already terrible situation for sick children even worse. We do understand that there are federal regulations coming down the road in regards to this, but now is not the time for the state to elect to add further barriers and restrictions to this program. The bottom line is, members, medically fragile children cannot withstand the chaos and confusion that is currently causing significant disruption to care under managed care system. Adding additional barriers to care will ultimately result in greater long-term costs to the state, up to and including the ultimate cost to human life. The bottom line is we are playing politics with children's lives, and MCOs are profiting from their pain. In the midst of the many ongoing problems with managed care, now is not the time to further restrict access to the highly specialized care fragile Texas children need to survive. We are asking you to help fix this mess, not make it worse by adding further harmful restrictions at this time. We are asking you to vote no on SB 1414 and take further action in the session to implement immediate safeguards and protections to ensure that fragile Texas children are not harmed under an inappropriate model. Thank you for your time. Do you have any questions?
Members, are there any questions of Ms. Mehta? We really appreciate you being here, and thanks for your testimony.
Thank you.
I know it's been a long day. Thank you for joining us.
For everyone, right? Thank you all.
Appreciate it. Chair calls Adrian